Alright guys, we're going to do a bass popper. This is a number 2/0 bass hook with the hump in the shank. You can see that, and that helps keep it from keeping the popper from rolling on you. So it's a good idea to definitely have that. This is a number 2 foam popper head. You can get them at your fly shop or order them or whatever. First off, just make sure you get that thing on there real good and snug, and you definitely want that back end to be level with your hook, okay? And then on the front end you want it to just be right up against the eye. And then I'm just going to take it and flip it over, because now what we're going to do is just take some super glue, and hit that slot with it. Just go right down and actually fill that up. And then just you want to let it dry upside down. I found it does a lot better like that. And then just let it dry. Alright, now you know your popper's dry. Give it some dry time. Then I'm going to get what I like to use to paint them is some Sally Hansen's nail polish. I'm going to make this one black. I like it. One is because they come with a brush, you know, so it's like you don't have to have a bunch of paint brushes and all this and clean the paint brushes, and so it's like every color kind of has a paintbrush in it. And it also has, you know, once it dries, it really gives a nice shine, and you know, that kind of thing. Just paint it up. You know, you don't have to. I'm gonna make a black popper, so you know, you use, if you got other colors, you use whatever color, however you want to do it. That's what's fun about it, you know. Make it to the situation or where you're fishing, and be creative. So that's the whole fun of, you know, tying flies. I don't think there's really a wrong way to tie a fly, you know. People might argue that with you, but you know, some of the ugliest flies I ever tie work the best, so there you go, you know. And you can see, like, it does a little, you know, reflection in it. You know, that's why I like it. You know, anything that reflects light a little bit, you know, can help get a strike. You know, so go ahead and paint that, and then let it dry. All right. So your first coat's dry. Then you're going to need to get some brass rods, perfectly round rods. So I've got one right here for the eyes, and then one for the pupil of the eyes. And then, you know, you can do like spots on the back and that kind of thing. Okay, and this is going to be like, so you dip it in the paint and then you just stamp it on there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and dip this in my white paint. And I'm using nail polish, you know, still using that. And then just come in here and get your stamp. And you can see it gives you a perfect, perfect little round eye. You always wonder how they get those perfect round eyes. Well, that's how they do it. Okay, do that, and then I'm gonna use this little one for on the back. For I'm gonna use some yellow and give him kind of some spots on the back as well. And go ahead and just stamp them in there. You know, you can do little different patterns. I'm just gonna kind of go straight down the back, and then maybe give a couple here on the sides. So it kind of looks like that. Okay, and then let that dry. Alright, now everything's dry. Now take your little brass rod and get some black nail polish, and we're going to dot those eyes. Alright, and I might even do a little like stamping on some of these yellows. See here. Alright. So you know, you can do any kind of design you want to do. Okay, that's what's fun about painting them, is you know, you can make it look however you want to make it look. So now just let that dry. Alright, so now everything's dried. Now I usually do I get some Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails and just put a clear coat on all that. It'll kind of give it a little shine, you know, make it look pretty. Alright, now just let that dry.